Hey there YouTube, it's me T5 Wilderness. Welcome to my channel and welcome to the last video of 2024, my end of month bot haul for December. Yeah, we're at the end of another year and I've got a somewhat modest haul for you today with 13 items representing 11 purchases that I've made throughout the month. And without further ado, let's get cracking into it, shall we? So anyway, right. First item to arrive on the 2nd was a cheeky little purchase I made on Amazon, and it was one of a couple of bots I bought at the beginning of the month to generate some content for my unboxing series this month. And it's a black repaint of a mould I've already got, but in handling this thing in the process of making this video, I've reminded myself just how good this mould is. So, Generation Selects, Legacy Evolution, Deluxe Magnificus. So basically, it's a black repaint of, Studio Series 86 Perceptor. Awesome figure, absolutely amazing mould. The transformation on this thing from, sort of robot mode to microscope mode is so smooth and buttery. It just works brilliantly. And it does do the tank mode as well. It can do the tank mode, so it's got all bases covered. It's a black repaint. I mean, there was a time years ago when I wouldn't have touched this thing with a barge pole because it's a repaint, and I didn't really do repaints. But since I got a taste for Generation Selects, was it last year or the year before, I've got a taste for repaints, and I'm a sucker for a black repaint, me. So so I got him. He's a fantastic little figure. Paid 19 quid for it off Amazon. I have seen it going cheaper because I'm pretty sure at TF Nation this year, In Demand had some of these on their store for 14 quid, I think. But anyway, it's a great figure. It's a great mould, and so I decided to pick it up as one of those, sort of cheeky little bots I did at the beginning of the month to get some, to get some content in for my unboxing series. So got this guy off Amazon. Generation Selects, Legacy Evolution, Deluxe, Magnificus. Then next, I went on to Kapow, looked to see what stuff they'd got on Kapow, and saw something on Kapow that caught my fancy. Another black repaint of a mould I've already got. Takara Tomy, 40th anniversary, Rise of the Beasts, Voyager, Nemesis Prime. So it's basically the buzzworthy Bumblebee Studio Series 102, Voyager Optimus Prime from Rise of the Beasts, which I've got at TF Nation. Was it last year or the year before? Last year or this year. I can't remember when I got it, but I've got that mould. So it's a black repaint of that, and nothing wrong with a black repaint. I'm a big fan of Nemesis Prime, so I don't really do, or I'm not really a fan of doing what I refer to as the vanilla Optimus Prime in the blue and red. If it will come in a black repaint further down the line or a white repaint in the case of Ultra Magnus, then I'm all on board with it. But I wanted to get a black version of the Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime, but never actually got around to it because I don't think they've ever done an official one, but there are KOs of it out there. But this is basically a rework of the Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime, and I thought this will do. Great figure, decent transformation, looks amazing, good paint work, moulded detail, all that stuff. The only gripe, as with the Bumblebee, the buzzworthy Bumblebee one, is that those panels inside the legs which just stuff up behind the cab and look a bit unsightly. But apart from that, it's a brilliant figure. And noticed that Kapow was doing it on a discounted price for pre-Christmas purchases. So decided to make a play on it and managed to get him from Kapow. Takara Tomy, 40th anniversary, Rise of the Beast, Voyager Nemesis Prime. Right, so moving along, that arrived on the 3rd. Right, on the 4th, I got a couple of packages. First of all, I went on to Hasbro Pulse and bought a couple of bots because they were in stock. Starting off with Legacy United Star Raider Deluxe Filch. So decided to get this girl. Obviously based on the Kingdom Air Razor mould, which I'm not a huge fan of because the proportions of the bird mode are a little off. It's a bit too short from the beak to the tail compared to the wingspan, and it doesn't look that good in. And also, I don't like the way the legs hang down underneath the bird mode. This does basically the same, but because it's a robotic bird rather than an organic bird, I think it carries the mould off a lot better. And this mould, or this character mould, has been very, very popular. People have been snapping it up, and she's been scalper bait because it's the first version of this character in plastic. I mean, Filch was a character that appeared in one episode. She might have actually reprised her role later on in the series, I don't know, but definitely one episode where she was like, Decepticon of the Week for RID 2015. Bumblebee and crew came across her and they had to deal with her, but she was on there, and they made her as part of the Star Raider crew in Legacy United. But it's a great mould, works really well. I wanted to get it. I passed on it when it was originally on pre-order, but when I looked on Hasbro Pulse earlier this month, they had it in stock again, so managed to get her. Then from the same order from Hasbro Pulse, I got this, the Studio Series Gamer Edition Deluxe Decepticon Soldier, or Decepticon Trooper. So it's one of those sort of Decepticon minion bots that you get in the Fall of Cybertron and War for Cybertron games. It's cannon fodder. It makes up the numbers. They did a toy of it, kind of like a Viacon, really. This is all right. This is okay. I don't mind this thing. Yeah, I think it's a retool of the Barricade mold. The Barricade mold was a horrendous piece of crap, which, from what I understand from watching other people's reviews on it, but this one they've made a few changes and improvements to it, and it's a little better, but it's still not perfect. I mean, I know some people are hating on this thing as well. It's all right. It's okay. It's a bit of a fussy transformation. It's got quite a lot of kibble hanging off the legs, but it's all right. It's okay. I didn't mind it. I kind of like the look of it. I mean, you had that. Was it Brian T-Fan Page 101 when he did a video a while back where he mentioned when he looked at this thing, he said it looked a bit like Master Chief of Halo. I can kind of see where he was getting with that, but it's an all right figure. It's okay. I don't mind it. So I noticed when I was placing my order for Filch, I thought I wanted to get another bot to make up the numbers this month, and this was sitting there, so I thought I'd make a play on this. So I got it from Hasbro Pulse along with Filch. Studio Series Gamer Edition Decepticon Soldier. Then also on the 4th, another package from eBay arrived. Now, over the last couple of years, you probably know, I've been buying back the Marvel G1 comics. Started out by getting back the comics I had as a kid, which was issue 1 to 199. Then I decided to continue into the 200 series and managed to complete my collection of those. And then I decided, I didn't really want to get the 300 series, but things sort of occurred and happened that I decided to get the 300 series. And I've got all but one of the 300 issues. I'm still missing one issue of the 300 series. Is it 331 I'm missing? But the albums. So you had the Marvel G1 comic. It also had the annuals that ran alongside. I've got a couple of the annuals, but I haven't got all of them. There's still a few annuals that I need to get. So I looked on eBay earlier this month and I found somebody doing 2 of the annuals that I didn't have. So there we go. I got the 1988 and the 1989 Transformers Marvel G1 annuals. Yeah, they're in good, Nick. Bought them because they're companion pieces to go with the Marvel G1 comics I've been collecting. I never had these annuals as a kid. In fact, I'd never had any of the annuals as a kid, as I recall. I only collected the comics. I didn't get the annuals. Yeah, so managed to get hold of these. Got them for a decent price. And these are the only comic-related items that I got this month. And going into 2025, as I've got the vast majority of the Marvel G1 comic stuff that I need one comic issue and a couple of annuals. I will just be keeping my eye to the ground and looking around to see what's available. And as and when they come up, I will make a play on them. But I'm not going to be concentrating on getting comics much in the new year. I have seen what Skybound are doing with their comics. I've been watching people doing read-throughs of the comics on YouTube. It looks great, it looks fantastic, but after having my fingers burnt with IDW, I don't want to bother with modern comics anymore. So I'm just going to get the classic comics, and once I'm finished, I'll be done with comics. But don't expect me to get much in the way of comic products next year because I'm not really looking into it. Right, okay, so next it was the 10th of December. My first of my Korean toys arrived. Before I actually show you the figure itself, I forgot to mention this in the review. When I opened the box, it came with a Brucey bonus. So the seller who sent me this figure that I'm going to show you next sent me a pack of die-cast cars for some reason. I don't know why. Whether or not they had a glut of them and they were just throwing them out in other people's packages as a freebie, I don't know. I never got any contact from the seller explaining that they were sending these out. Sometimes when you're buying these figures off Gmarket, it'll have a drop down menu saying please select which one you want, and you'll have like a number of options. And so, because it's all in Hangul, you can't really read it, but sometimes you'll click on it and it'll be like main figure plus extras, and I don't know whether that was the case here, but so I got those. Anyway, so the first Korean purchase I made this month was this guy, Metal Cardbot S Muscle Hyde. He's another one of those new characters that was introduced for season 2 of Metal Cardbot. He's a great figure. He's very big. He's very chunky. He's got some nice colours going on, some decent moulded detail. He's got all the ratchety goodness that you expect from a Korean toy. Yeah, I've definitely been buying into the Metal Cardbot S toy line going forwards. It's as with last year, they're going mad with it, and introducing loads and loads of new characters as the season goes into its second half. And it's we'll just have to wait for them to come out. But I am going to be buying into the Metal Cardbot S toy line like I did last year, and this guy's really, really good. Comes with his crane arm. So he can hold his got his crane arm, and then you've got his card weapon. So you've got his metal card, then you've got the axe that goes onto his crane arm, and you've got those extra arms, so you can plug them in the back, and it gives him 4 arms. So he's very interesting bot in that regard. He's got lots of things going on, being a metal card character and the card weapon. He's all right, and from what I've seen of the show, he's a really good character in the show as well. He is part of the protagonist bots going into the early part of the season, but he gets captured quite early on, and he's a good guy at heart, and but when it comes to having a scrap, he's the bruiser, he's the fighter. So got him. And moving along, then it was my next Korean purchase. Now, usually when I buy my parcels off G Market, I order them on the same day, sometimes from different sellers. They get shipped from the sellers to the G Market warehouse. They then get boxed up for international shipping. And usually, if there are multiple orders going to the same address, they won't bundle them together, but they'll send them in the same shipment. And for most of the time this year, both my Korean figures have arrived on the same day. But for some reason, this second item got delayed. It got waylaid in the G Market warehouse for some reason. I don't know why. And but they eventually shipped it. And it arrived 6 days later on the 16th. Tobot Athlon Magma 6. So this is a combiner from the second season of Tobot Athlon, which came out in... what was it? When did the second season come out? 2017, 2016, 2017, something like that. Anyway, there was a couple of combiners in that series. They had like the Champion, the 3-bot combiner, and then they had this 6-bot combiner, because you've got the bots from Season 1 and the bots from Season 2 combined together to form this giant robot. And Magma 6 in the show, I absolutely adore Magma 6 in the show. He's such a bruiser. He's based on an American footballer. He does all those, sort of, quarterback, crouching sort of tackles and stuff like that. And usually with lots of fire and explosions, and really, really good, awesome bot to watch in the show. As it was a copolymer combiner, I'm not a huge fan of copolymer combiners, and it was kind of expensive back in the day, so I passed on it originally, and then it sort of got rare and hard to find and really expensive, and then I kind of had it in the back of my mind that I wanted to get this thing. And then more recently I noticed there's been a reissues of them popping up, and I decided this month, as I was carrying over £100 from last month's haul, I decided, sod it, I'm going to make a play on this guy. So I went to him. Unfortunately, even though this is an early Tobot figure, as we know that are not quite as articulated as the newer ones, the articulation on this thing is just, it's a joke, really. The legs barely move. That's about as much as the knees do. The legs barely move. It's got basic articulation on the arms. Paint apps. As this is the reissue, it is missing a load of paint apps. All the wheels on the vehicles are supposed to be painted silver, and they're not. And also there was supposed to be some extra paint apps in here. The paint apps on Tornado, supposed to have loads of black paint apps around the front of his alt mode. They're missing as well. So yeah, it was very disappointing. I was looking forward to getting this thing, and when it arrived, it fell well short of what I was expecting. So, yeah, really, really didn't like this thing. So there we go. That's that thing that arrived on the 16th from G Market, Tobot Athlon Magma 6. Then we're moving on to sort of pre-Christmas, and every year I like to do a pre-Christmas toy hunt. This year I wasn't able to get the days off, sort of the week before Christmas. Well, actually I did get the 23rd and the 24th off, but I wanted to have the week before that off. But anyway, so on, what was it? Friday the 20th, I decided to go on my pre-Christmas toy hunt. So I went to Smith's, went to B&M, and then I went into Town Centre and went to Forbidden Planet and Entertainer. Wasn't expecting anything, because I was trying to save my money for the NEC Toy Fair at the end of the month. But went around the shops, didn't see a lot, but I did manage to buy one item while I was out there. And it's a figure that, again, I've had on the back burner for a while. I've seen it in the shops plenty of times, but passed on it. But thanks to watching some other YouTuber do a review on it, I kind of wanted to get it. Transformers Authentics Alpha Soundwave. Now, like I said, I've seen somebody do a review on this. It was JCC225. Anyway, he did a review on this a while ago, and I watched it and I thought, actually, that looks half decent. I mean, I've got a few Authentics figures. I mean, the thing you've got to remember with Authentics figures is that they're figures that are built down to a cost. They're cheap and cheerful toys that are designed to be sold in, budget shops, discount stores, and in less affluent world markets. So you got to take them as they come, So this guy, like I said, he's got massive hollowness on the legs, very, very simple transformation, limited articulation, but he's big, he's chunky, doesn't have an opening cassette door or a laser beak gimmick, but he's still a decent figure. And I saw him in B&M home stores, and I thought, yeah, sod it, I'll get him. At least I'll have one boss on this toy hunt this Christmas, and he was the only thing that I managed to get, because everywhere else I went, Smith's, Forbidden Planet and they just didn't have anything I wanted to get. So he was the only thing I got on my pre-Christmas toy hunt this year. So that was Transformers Authentics Alpha Class Soundwave. Right, so then the next thing is NEC Toy Fair on December 27th. Now, this year, it's like an annual tradition for me. I always like to go to the December 27th one. We didn't get one last year because of cutbacks on by the Barry Potter organiser, because of he'd had troubles with the NEC venue, giving him a bit of guff about. I assume they were complaining about the free car parking arrangement, and anyway, so he said, right, in that case, I'm only gonna do 2. So this year we got 3 NEC Toy Fairs instead of the normal 4, and we had the return of the December 27th, post Christmas one. And to me, this is something I always like to do every year. It's like an annual tradition. It's on my last buying day of the year. And this year is a bit special because I was joined by a good friend of mine, Mr. James Lai, of Maximil of Toys. He had expressed an interest in wanting to attend an NEC Toy Fair, and he contacted me earlier in the year and said he wanted to do it. I did offer him the September one, but he said he couldn't make that, but he said he was going to do the December one. And so he joined me. So I recorded a few little video clips, so here they are. Good morning, YouTube. TFI Wilderness here, walking into the NEC. Got a little friend with me.
Hello, good morning.
Hang on.
Yeah.
James Lai,
Yep.
Maximil of Toys.
Oh yeah.
We're just walking into the NEC Toy Fair right now. Just do a little video clip. And he wanted to experience it, so here we go now. So here we go. Yeah, we're just walking out, and somebody's been busy. Right, so I've just got back from the NEC Toy Fair, and as you saw from the clips, me and James went to the NEC Toy Fair, but I just wanted to do a clip in my end of month bot haul, just to prove that he was here. So James, if you'd like to take a pew.
Hello.
So, oh God, there he is, Mr. James Lai of Maximil of Toys, a guy who I've known for 9 years now, because we met you first at Auto Assembly 2015.
Long time.
I'm just showing him a toy that I bought off him back then in my details behind me.
Incredible.
Yeah, so what I wanted to say to you on camera is, what was your impression of the NEC Toy Fair, mate?
Very good. I mean, been saying that go with you every year, but haven't. And this year, definitely. I mean, really shocked how good it is.
You went a bit crazy, didn't you?
Yeah, I went crazy.
You bought so much stuff.
Yeah,
I bought hardly anything.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. I just thought it was going to be like dinky toys and cars and trains. There were that there, but I just thought it'll be like mostly that. But no, it's loads of things. Absolutely loads of things. Like Legos, it's got retro stuff, He-Man. I'm just so surprised how much stuff there is, and it's overwhelming. So yeah, spent a lot of money. So yeah, that's my Christmas money gone. But yeah, really, really enjoyable. So definitely be going again. Yeah, enjoyable. Yeah, cheers for taking us there, man. Yeah, definitely. My man, Jason.
My good buddy, Mr. James Light, who did come visit me at TF
definitely.
Nation HQ.
Yep.
He's just showing him the collection. I haven't shown him the loft yet.
That'll be fun.
All right, okay, so let's see us. So as you can see, me and James went into the NEC Toy Fair. James, he bought a lot of stuff. I was quite embarrassed by how much stuff he bought compared to me. I mean, usually I do quite well at the NEC Toy Fair, but he bought way more stuff than me. I don't know how much money he spent, but he bought a lot of stuff. But, oh yeah, as it's the NEC Toy Fair, let's put that on. So yeah, as you can see from the clips, James really enjoyed himself. He was amazed by, the NEC Toy Fair, how much stuff was there. He was expecting a lot more, die-cast cars and toy trains, but there was just so much stuff of all different toy brands from all different generations. It's the biggest, toy and train collectors fair in Europe, and it's such a big thing. You could go around the thing a dozen times and still not see everything. It's amazing. James, like I said, I mean, he took full advantage of his visit to the event, and he spent a lot of money and got a lot of stuff. And fair play to the guy, he did really well out of it. But me, I got a few things, and I'm going to show you now what I got. So, starting off with, me and James started, well, we were doing the usual thing where we go around the outside round, and then we started working our way up the middle. And then James found a stall where this guy had a G1 hot rod. It was a really beaten up G1 hot rod. It was only £5, so he made a play on that. And of course, we moved on. And then when we got to the end of the aisle and looked at some of the tables at the top, I found another one, and so I bought one as well. So we both bought a G1 hot rod. James's one is a bit beaten up, but mine is a bit better. In fact, we took a picture of the two side by side, so here it is. Yeah, mine is the one on the right, and James is the one on the left. But you can't really tell from that photograph just how rough the one that James got was. But I got mine. This one's all right. James seemed to think mine was a reissue because it was so much better than his, but it isn't really. I mean, I was looking at the copyright stamps on them. They were both 1986. So yeah. Anyway, so I haven't got a G1 hot rod. I was kind of halfway tempted to get that pink reissue of G1 hot rod that they've done for the Transformers the movie, but I passed on that because it was too expensive. Though I did see somebody there who was selling one for £40, though I didn't make a play on it. But anyway, so yeah, there we go. So I've got him, G1 hot rod. Then walking round, there was a time when James sort of went off to do his thing, and I was wandering around trying to find my mate Richard, and we sort of split up at certain times and wandered around, and I'd seen a figure on a stall who's on the left-hand wall, King Street Collectibles in Wolverhampton, somebody who I like to buy off on a regular basis, and I noticed they had this figure on their stall, but it was a bit pricey. But later on, when I split up from James and when I did my own thing, I went back and bought it. Bit pricey at £25 for a loose, Fritting 30s Generation Deluxe. But yeah, Fritting 30s Generation Deluxe Jhiaxus. So yeah, I've been thinking about getting this figure, and this guy that I buy from had it. King Street Collectibles. £25 though, bit pricey, but I decided to get it because James was going around buying all these big impressive bots, you know, and he was intimidating me a bit, and I thought I've got to go and buy something, so I went back and bought this thing for 25 quid. It's all right, it's okay, you know, it's the Armada Seeker mold, just done up as Jhiaxus. I think this version of Jhiaxus appeared in the Dreamwave comics. Am I right? It's not the G1 one, obviously, because that's what that you know, Legacy Evolution, or yeah, that's the Legacy one was about. But anyway, so I got hold of that. Then James, I was following James again, and we pulled up at another stall, and he was looking at it, and there was a loose KFC Citizen Stacks. You know, it's like a Masterpiece scale Ultra Magnus. And James made an inquiry about the price, and it was 60 quid, so he bought it. I was halfway interested in looking at it, but then again, I've got the Delta Magnus version in my own collection. James did offer it to me if I wanted to buy it off him, off the store, but I sort of said, no, you might as well keep it. And then later on, while I was going around by myself, I remembered that James previously had been looking at buying a G1 Grapple, but it was missing all the accessories, so he left it be. And I went to another store where I found a complete G1 Grapple in a box with all of its accessories for 40 quid. And I thought, oh no, if I buy that, then I still had 20 quid left in my pocket. I could go up to James and offer him the G1 Grapple plus 20 quid, and he could, do the swap for the Ultra Magnus. So I went back to the other store and I bought the G1 Grapple for 40 quid. Now, when I went back to James, I mentioned it to James and says, oh, you was after a G1 Grapple. I've got a complete one. I could do a swap with that to Ultra Magnus. He then said to me, he says, oh, it's already been sold, mate. Because he'd got another friend, or he had contacted another friend of his who's an Ultra Magnus collector, and he'd offered it to him, and he'd basically bit his hand off. So he'd promised it to his other friend, and so I was left stuck with this thing. Now, I don't have a G1 Grapple in my collection, so I can keep this. It doesn't bother me. When I got home and got it out, I found out that it's super loose. It's very loose. It did come with all the hands and the missiles, but I've had to wrap tape round the missiles to stuff them into the hands to stop them falling out. Yeah, he's a bit floppy. He's got a little bit of chrome wear, a few paint chips here and there, but apart from that, he's all intact. It was 40 quid, which is quite a bit of money, but I think given the condition and the completeness of this thing, I think it's the price. The price is justified. But like I said, I haven't got a Grapple in my collection because I've got a G1 Inferno. And because Inferno, between Grapple and Inferno, I much prefer Inferno to Grapple because of something that Inferno did in the Marvel G1 comics. But anyway, so got the G1 Grapple. Then the last thing I bought was, again, it was something that I overlooked on my initial look round, and then I came back round again later on and decided to buy it because it's a bit of a novelty thing. This. Now it's a KO robot, not of any particular mould, but it's just a KO style bot, and it turns into a Mini Cooper. Now it's a very, very simplistic bot. It's got no articulation on the legs. It's got a little bit of articulation on the arms, nothing on the head. It's got the big old bonnet chest. It does come with a nice sort of gold chrome gun. But this thing, the reason you buy it is for the alt mode. Right. there we go. So it forms a Mini Cooper, and it's all die cast. All the body panels for the car mode are die cast, and yeah, it's really neat. So decided to buy this as my last thing that I got at the NEC Toy Fair. That's pretty cool. And that was it for the NEC Toy Fair this year, or this, you know, for December. So I'm going to put that to one side. And yeah, so me and James, well, James came up and went around the NEC Toy Fair. He was like really impressed with it, and he has said that he'd like to do it again. The next one is in April, so he said he might be tempted to come up and do the NEC Toy Fair with me in April. So that's something to look forward to in the new year. Right, so one more thing to put down for my end of month bot haul. And it was a package that was waiting for me when me and James got back from the NEC Toy Fair. Now, I knew it was getting delivered because I pre-ordered it from Show Z, and then earlier in the month I got the sort of had to do the pre-order balance payment on it. And they said they shipped it, and it was a bit touch and go whether it had arrived before Christmas, but it got into the country before Christmas, and then it was sat in a storage warehouse down near Luton, according to the tracking code. Anyway, I knew it was going to hopefully get delivered before the end of the year, and so it did. So when me and James got home from the NEC Toy Fair on Friday the 27th, there was a package waiting for me. And it's a character that I'm a huge fan of. In fact, it's my all-time favourite Transformers character. And when they announced that they was doing this third-party masterpiece rendition of it, I just had to make a play on it, and it's finally arrived. TransArt BWM number 12 Wolfwing Combatant, or basically Beast Wars Fusor Silverbolt. It's the bird dog. Now I've got the original toy here. There's the original Beast Wars Silverbolt, and this is basically basically an upscaling of this into sort of like masterpiece form. It's got load of they've thrown a load of paint apps at it, engineering improvements, die-cast parts, and that stuff, and it looks really good. It's Silverbolt. It's my all-time favourite character from Transformers fiction. I love the guy. I love the bird dog. Obviously, he had that love affair with Black Arachnia. I've got a masterpiece Black Arachnia in my collection somewhere to go with him. Yeah, brilliant figure. They've made improvements to this thing. It's got the wingspan, and I then found out it's got a flapping wing gimmick. They built in a flapping wing gimmick. The original toy has got kind of a flapping wing gimmick, but it sort of, the wings just sort of flap forwards and then the missiles fire, whereas this one, the wings actually flap up and down. But yeah, not quite sold on the super shiny silver they've done this guy in, because the original figure was more of a silvery grey colour. But it's all right, I suppose. There's a few other minor little nitpicks on it that I'm not too happy about. But when I found out it had the flapping wing gimmick, I was just totally sold on this thing. It just went up in my estimation so much. And yeah, that's the last thing I got this month. So there we go. There's my haul for December of 2024. Like I said, it's a fairly modest haul. Got a few bits, a couple of black repaints, some figures from Kapow. got something on my pre-Christmas toy hunt, got some Korean figures, did the NEC Toy Fair with my mate James Lai. So yeah, it was all right. It was a decent month. So now for the last time in 2024, it's time for the first and worst. Now, there's no point beating about the bush today, because if you've watched the last 2 videos I did on this channel over the last 2 days, you'll know what's coming next, because I showed you my first and worst as little teasers on those videos. And yeah. Right, here we go. First and worst. So first, it's Silverbolt. It's Beast Wars Silverbolt. Like I said, it's not a perfect figure. It does have a few things that I'm not happy about, but when I found out it had the flapping wing gimmick, you know, I was sold. I was sold when it had the flapping wing gimmick. So yeah, I love this guy. I love the character. This is a decent, you know, a really good, you know, upscaling of the original figure. It's awesome. And Beast War, I mean, on my first list this year, I also had the Transmetal Tarantulas as well. So, you know, TransArt are doing some amazing things with these Beast Wars characters that they're doing. Absolutely fantastic. And then worst, this thing, like I said, it's the reissue. It's missing a load of paint apps, very restricted articulation, even for an early Tobot figure. Very disappointed. It's just a pale reflection of what the character is in the show, and I was very, very disappointed by it. So that's why it was the worst spot I got this month. And that is it. Stick a fork in me. I'm done. 2024 is at an end. Moving forward to 2025, the game starts again tomorrow. I'll be placing a few orders, probably for my Korean figures and a few other bits and pieces. So, see you again next year. I've been TFR Wilderness. Goodbye.